How's it going, Twitch? My name is Skull, and on behalf of East Asia Soft, wow, my microphone peaked there. Okay, no, we're good. My name is Skull, and on behalf of East Asia Soft, welcome to today's stream. Today is Sunday, which means it's the Do Whatever I Want stream, and today I am continuing my playthrough of The Letter, which will be shipping physically on Nintendo Switch this month. We still have plenty of copies available for you to buy through PlayAsia, so if you want the chance of owning this game physically on the Nintendo Switch, head over there and secure your order because you're going to be able to have this game in your hands very, very soon. I know that a lot of you who watched my stream last week were expecting me to continue Crimson Spires, but it turns out I was about 3 minutes away from ending the one route, and I really didn't feel like playing through any more routes, frankly. I felt like coming back to this game, because this game really intrigues me, and I'm interested to see what happens next. Plus, I wanted to promote the physical, so The Letter and Love Esquire on the Switch will be shipping this month. Get your orders in over at PlayAsia. I would have played Love Esquire, actually, because I really love that game, but, well, Dim likes that game too, and I'd rather play it with him being able to watch. So, let us continue. Where the heck were we? Where the heck were we? Okay, I think at this point, move my webcam up. I think at this point, this guy is photographing the house for a magazine. Okay. Let me try and bring everyone up to speed. So, the plot of the game is there's this big house, this mansion in Europe that they are putting up for sale, or they're trying to sell. And, it might be a tiny bit too loud. There we go. It's haunted. And we've already seen the story through the viewpoint of one girl, and now we're seeing the exact same story through the viewpoint of another girl. The first one that we saw is the realtor who was selling the house, and now we're looking through the eyes of another girl who wants to buy the house. And then there's this guy who's the photographer, just a friend of the first girl and a professional helper for the second girl. So that's where we're at. Just as large and extravagant. And just as empty. I hope he's right.
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengarde mansion.
Oh, Ermengarde. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was funny.
What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
And they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Honor Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. Blah, blah. Boring.
So yeah, Hannah Wright. That's her.
You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, The Darkest Hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it. Those are the things that people should know about. What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
Yeah, the voice acting is really great. Also, hi, oh my lord. Lamb, how are you doing? Lamb? I am so sorry if I mispronounced that.
People, right?
Oui. People are shite.
Can confirm.
What do you think? Do I look good with this angle?
I strike a pose while he's busy, looking taken aback for a moment. Probably not expecting me to just go and say such a crass word. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he grins.
Pierre, vous êtes belle. You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French. You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents. Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
Oh, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry. But I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Can you cook your best?
I can cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
C'est magnifique.
Deo, like, Deus. Well, I'm just going to call you Lamb. I hope that that's okay. Deo, okay. It has been too long since I've had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, Lee is certainly not a good friend. And although we've just met, Zachary is the sort who could probably befriend anyone. He's just a comfortable person to be around. A bit too comfortable. The photo shoot went by a breeze. And somewhere along the way, as we talk and laugh, I find myself getting a bit too close without realizing it. He'll give me this strange look until I back off, and he'll go back to asking questions after I agreed to do his little interview. And it's just odd. Well, no. Me being friendly isn't that odd. That's how I am. Zachary is the one that's being odd. Why, anyone else would absolutely welcome the extra attention I give them. He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it. He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Also, Lamb, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Forgot to say that earlier. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but he's a big boy. He should be able to handle me. Yeah, all it is a friendly touch here, a pretty smile there, and gentle swaying of the hips as I move around. Zachary grew and grew more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean, as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? Perhaps. This went on during the interview, and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing, right? Zachary and I are just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least, that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted.
Good night, everybody.
Could you maybe stop doing that?
Stop? I'm not sure if I want to, though. Oh, we're going to continue. This is who I am, and I am not going to tone myself down for somebody else. I have no obligation to do so. At any rate, he is rather cute, and it is a bit fun seeing him squirm. What's the worst that can happen? I doubt it'll be anything bad, considering how much of a gentleman he is.
Oh, stop doing what, Zach, sweetie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This VN is just so well written. I love how it changes character perspectives and gives you a better look at what is going on. And I love the setting, and I love that it's a horror, but it's not like a, it'll haunt you in your dreams and keep you from falling asleep horror. Although I have a hard time falling asleep these days anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's like barely even a horror. It's more like a thriller. It's more like a psychological quandary, trying to get into people's minds and understand how they think. And I think that's awesome. And it's a whole lot of fun.
Touching my arm and looking at me like that.
I pause, giving him a baffled look. This is certainly the first time a man has ever complained about me being too friendly.
I'm not doing anything wrong. Come on now, don't be like that. It's just a bit of fun.
A bit of harmless fun.
I'm sorry. It's just really uncomfortable, and I don't think either of us want Mr. Right to see us and think there's any funny business. I'm sorry. Look, we're finished with the interview already, aren't we? Maybe it's about time I go.
Oh, you must be joking.
No, I'm not.
You're certainly the odd one. Don't be such a killjoy. A little bit of flirting never hurt anyone. Other men would simply be delighted by my interest in them. Besides, you really are such a cutie.
Well, I'm not them, Hannah. So, yeah, I'm probably odd.
I don't understand you.
Let me put it this way. You're a pretty lady, so this must have happened to you at least once or twice. How would you feel if someone was making you uncomfortable? Only for them to refuse when you ask them to stop, and they make you out to be the one that's wrong?
Men.
This isn't. This isn't the same as that.
As I try to argue his point, he starts to pack the rest of his bags. This is preposterous. My main argument is, what sort of man complains about a woman being friendly with them? It seems logical in my head, but the moment I try to say it, it starts to fall apart.
Yes, it is. Unwanted advances don't make me feel macho or anything like that. I'm not here to argue morals or ethics, Miss Wright. I think I have more than enough for the interview, if that's fine with you. I may be starting to overstay my welcome.
I feel deflated. And things were going so smoothly, too. I ended up pushing too hard just when I might have found myself a good friend. I'm not sure if I feel awful because I'm not getting what I want, or because I was just compared to the pigs I so despise.
You're not even going to let me apologize.
You're not a bad person, Hana. Just...
Because I really am sorry.
people won't always be how you want them to be. And apology accepted. But I really do need to go. A friend of mine is expecting me. It's getting late.
Will you visit again? I will be asking for copies of those photographs.
Yeah, sure. I'll make you a copy.
That would be much appreciated. I'll ask Johans to see you out.
Oh, what a funny name. I feel sick to my stomach as I watch Zachary leave. It is silly to be upset over a falling out with a man who was only a few hours ago a complete stranger to me. That doesn't excuse my boorish behavior at all, and it doesn't make the ill feeling any better. Idling about, I stare off into space, unsure of how I feel. And I stay a good while, just standing there, until the sun sets in the horizon. Disheartened, I proceed back into the mansion for supper. Entering the dining hall causes me so much confusion. It is dark. For a moment, I thought the electric work is not up to par. But that clearly is not the case, as every other room is bright with artificial light. Finding the light switch is a monumental task, considering the size and my unfamiliarity with the room. To make matters worse, the darkness grants the room a different atmosphere, eerie and frightening. Hey, lady, they invented these new things. They're called cell phones. Literally, all of your coworkers were using them earlier. Here, watch this. There. Voila. Now, is that so hard? Just use the flashlight on your phone. It takes longer than I thought to find the switch. Something that'll have to be rectified later on. My skin starts to prickle, and there's the distinct feeling of being watched. It unsettles me and only spurs me on in my search. And when I do open the lights, there is a hiss.
I'll turn the lights down, woman.
They debated me, I won't lie. There, at the end of the hall, is my beloved husband, with his face in one hand and a glass in the other. Perhaps I can let it go if it's only one glass of wine. However, I could feel myself go livid after seeing the toxic green liquid gleam mockingly at me.
Luke, what? Are you drinking absinthe? You know what the doctor said. Absinthe, Luke. Are you actively trying to kill yourself? Because if you are, we can just hit you with a bloody car.
I vote in favor. Vote in favor of hitting the moron with the car.
Honeybee, Buttercup, not too loud, please. Besides, it's Lelouch, not too strong. Just hair of the dog that bit me. Helps with a hangover, dearest.
You drank? When?
This morning, love. Don't be mad. I just needed a few drinks, having to deal with those simpletons. And maybe I had one too much. You don't see me whinging about you leaving me to handle them on my own.
I had to attend the photo shoot and interview with Luxury Living. You know that. Let's not make this about me, Luke. This is about you and your drinking problem and...
Oh, I don't know, Hana, darling. What if my drinking problem, as you like to call it, is linked to you?
Yeah, that's a sign of abuse. That's a red flag.
If we think about it that way, this discussion is about you. That was pretty mean of you, leaving me alone to do all the work like that. You can't use the interview as an excuse either, honey. I was informed the moment your little interview was done. So, what was it then, What were you doing?
What's it gonna be? Should I tell the truth or tell a little lie? This guy doesn't deserve the truth.
I was just tending to the garden, sweetie.
You were?
For a moment, he looks skeptical. I could tell by the gleam in his eyes and the way he sits up in attention. He thinks I'm lying, but I see no point in bringing up Zachary and aggravating him. I did tend to the gardens for a bit, so it's not a complete lie. Just a little white lie. Besides, I know just how to please him. Sauntering over and circling round him, I place my fingers on his shoulders. He lets out a little groan before melting like butter as I massage his shoulders.
I had to make sure they didn't ruin your favorite daffodils.
Oh, that is wonderful.
I'm not sure if he means the massage or the flowers, but I'll take it. This is better than a fight.
So, absinthe.
Just one glass, Loosh.
I suppose I can let this one go. A bit too late anyway, you've already drank half the thing. But remember your doctor's orders.
Yes, I'll try to drink less.
Try.
Hey, I'm only human. Do you want one?
No, thank you.
Supper is spent in silence, with nothing but the occasional sound of silverware. A great feast has been served. Well, grander than usual anyway, most likely due to Luke's complaints of stress. A platter of native oysters for starters, a tranche of turbot with purple sprouting broccoli, lemon, capers, and anchovy sauce for mains. Wow, that looks... That looks better. To finish it off, black tea and golden syrup sponge pudding with custard. But when our appetites are pleased and the plates are cleared away, Luke stands, kisses me goodnight, and leaves me to stare at my half-empty cup. Looks like British food. Well, I'm pretty sure this isn't Britain. Lonely in the lull of night, I sit in a house too big and too empty, foreign and unwelcoming. Even with its warm tone and homely decor, it feels cold. There's no need for tears, however. I know I can get through this like every other obstacle I've faced before. This is a minor setback. What I hope will be a long and happy life. To remind myself that this place is for Luke and for our future children fills me with renewed vigor. Besides, it looks like someone is having a cry already. The wailing is far away and muffled. Ew. Yet at the same time, it shakes me to my very core as I hear it. Yeah, that's creepy. As if the suffering is just standing right beside me. Hearing it sends a chill down my spine and makes my skin prickle with goosebumps. Who is that? Curiosity sinks in as I follow the sorrowful sound into the kitchen and into the wine cellar hatch.
Hello? Is anybody down there?
I am curious and concerned, but there is no way I am going down into a dark and humid underground. I'm not as enthusiastic as Luke, who considers himself quite the connoisseur. However, I also cannot bring myself to go to bed with this racket going on. If it is one of the household help, they will surely need some talking. After all, this wouldn't be the first time I've gone and found one of the maids sobbing their eyes out over one thing or another. As professional as our staff are, they are still human. More often than not, it was either Johans or I who would calm them down, who would help them figure out how to go on about things. Unfortunately, I am not in high spirits right now, so I'm not as wholly benevolent. Will you shut up? How long can one ghost cry? So I will... Boy, I'm not that brave. I knock 3 times. Waiting for any sort of reply yields me no results, and I've already touched the floor hatch far too many times than what I'd like. I take a deep breath before reaching out again to whoever's inside. I've learned from experience that people respond better to kindness than threats. Shouting angrily would not help in coaxing them out.
You, in the cellar, do come out. We don't want Luke waking up and finding you in there, do we? That man would go ballistic thinking someone was trying to steal his precious wine.
Still nothing.
You can have a good cry. Just not in there, yes? Why don't you come out here and we can have a cuppa and you can tell me all about whatever it is you're bawling about?
Man, this ghost is really loud. With how long I'm standing here, however, I'm starting to think myself as a fool. I did not want to acknowledge the other feeling I have, especially as the wailing took an eerie turn. The thought of being played with didn't sit too well with me, and I had to stop myself from getting too hot-headed as I try one more time.
Now you come out of there! That is an order from the lady of the house, do you hear me? Why, I ought to...
I freeze as a hand clamps down on my shoulder. The dread I've been feeling all this time makes itself known as I kneel, unmoving, not even daring to breathe. I can feel my heart pounding against my chest. But the touch is gone as quickly as it seized me. It is only Johans I see when I look back.
Apologies, madam, for touching you like that. You were not responding to my voice, and you looked about ready to wake the whole mansion up.
I was... Oh, I'm sorry. I was getting rather loud, wasn't I? But that crying woman in there, we must do something about her.
He grows silent for a moment and just looks concerned. At least I'd like to interpret it as concern, given how stoic our head butler usually is. Or rather, it must have been concern, as he takes off a glove and presses the back of his hand at my forehead before his worrisome inquiry.
I beg your pardon. What crying woman? Are you feeling well, madam?
In the cellar. Can't you hear her?
Madam Hannah, no one is down there.
What?
The cellar is locked. Only Luke and I have duplicates of the keys. Nobody is down there.
I stare at him in disbelief. But when I listen once more, I hear no crying. Tugging at the hatch for good measure prove his words to be true, too. The thing won't budge unless I have a key, short of using power tools on it.
Perhaps it is time for you to go to bed, madam. You are simply tired and hearing things, a perfectly normal human experience. But if you are still experiencing auditory hallucinations in the morning, you are free to consult with me.
There's a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach as he helps me up to my feet. What he says makes sense, and who am I to question someone who used to be a doctor? How does a doctor turn into a butler? What? What kind of sense does that make? Just show of hands, what do you think pays more? The end. I'm just tired. That's it. Long day of moving, the interview, dealing with Luke. That has all drained me of any proper sense.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I just need some sleep, that's all.
Of course I'm right. Go on then. Gute Nacht.
Good night, Johans. Good night, house.
It's just fatigue. That's what I keep telling myself, although I can't ignore the strange feeling in my gut. Either there is something wrong with this house, or there is something wrong with my head. Sleep will be elusive tonight. Luke is already gone by the time I rise. There isn't a single hide nor hair of him to be found, and trying to call him on his mobile is a bust, as it goes straight to his voicemail. That's twice in a row he's gone on me. And for him to disappear today of all days is every bit upsetting because of what's to come. The morning is once again filled with a whirlwind of activity. This is a nice parlor. Fortunately, I am much more refreshed as I took a break from my responsibilities. I haven't the faintest clue where Luke was yesterday. Today is going to be a busy day, although, unlike Wednesday, the master of the house isn't here right now, absent once again from his duties. Fair enough, Lamb. Fair enough. Hopefully he'll be back in time for the party. This is our house, after all. A grand housewarming party for the wonderful Wright mansion. Every person of importance from Luxbourne is invited, and there will be a few guests flying in as well. Of course, there will be some people from the media, along with friends and acquaintances who are made no less important, regardless of their status in society. Marianne and I discuss business and last-minute touches to the house before finalizing everything. Not that there is much change from our original plans. Bar any huge additions to the property itself, the mansion is nearly 100% complete.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Luke and I had a small tiff about making the second bedroom into a child's playroom, which I insisted is completely practical. In the end, he had to acquiesce. I didn't give him any choice in the matter. I even bought this wonderful wooden crib from the antique store yesterday, including some toys. Just in case anyone brings their baby, of course. Besides, we have little need for actual guest rooms. We hardly have guests who spend the night. If we absolutely have to, we often choose to foot the bill for their visit on one of our hotels instead. Always at Luke's insistence. And on the off chance that we actually let someone stay, the bedroom in the opposite wing is still up to the task.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
The guy's an outdoorsy type. No, I did not agree to him having a helipad.
All right, then. Well, do we have any other concerns? Anything we need to put on our agenda before the party commences?
No, I don't think so. Not unless Luke has anything else to say.
Is he around, then? It'd be best if we can note down his request right away, considering the scope of his usual ones.
Around? No. Where is he? Who knows where? Also, hate to do this, I really hate to do this, but I will be right back. Hi. So sorry about that, guys, but, you know. Anyway.
No, he's not around.
She didn't have to point out the obvious now, did she? After 7 long years, I've already gotten used to him. I should be by now. Still not, apparently.
But don't you have a party?
I want nothing more than to complain, to whinge about how unfair this is. However, airing out one's dirty laundry is simply taboo among high society. To do so will make you a ripe target for the next dinner party chit-chat. Vultures, the lot of them, really. Or most of them, at least. There are always good ones, like Rochelle Lee. But put your trust in the wrong person, and you'll find yourself eagerly picked apart.
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting, he's having marital problems, and he's just trying to cheer him up.
Perhaps I'm being a bit too rash, a bit hot-headed, in divulging details. But I thought myself clever with the plan to dress it up as gossip. Marianne's raised brow makes me unsure whether she's interested or not. Although that does make things better if she has no interest and therefore has no hidden intent to utilize whatever I might say to her.
They've been married for a long time, and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark. What do you think?
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am? Do you want me to be honest, or...
Do I want her to be honest? I don't know. Well, I guess that's my answer.
I don't know, Marianne. I just...
She hesitates, taking a sip of her coffee while I stare into my own cup of tea, before she speaks.
Perhaps it has been the years, perhaps not. It might just be the little things that have built up all this time. It might be something big. I wouldn't know all the details. But in any case, with things like these, I've seen couples take time apart just to cool off. Sometimes they get back together in the end with lighter hearts, and sometimes they don't get back together at all, but part on better terms.
Speaking from experience, are we, Miss McCullough?
Well, that certainly got a rise out of her as her cheeks turn red and she nearly chokes on her coffee.
Oh, no, nothing like that. I'm not interested in any fella even. It's just a thing I've seen happen a few times.
What if I said the couple are very public figures? They wouldn't want to take time apart unless it was really necessary.
Boy, just not being very subtle about this, are we?
They wouldn't want people to talk.
Well, that's a load of guff. Not to mention that makes them a bit thick, doesn't it? Forget about what other people say. That's their relationship and they should do what's best for them.
And if they point out that you're being a hypocrite and they can also disregard what you say?
Then that's their choice. I'm just saying that a break might do them good. A short time apart is better than someone trying to leg it out of the relationship or one ending up trying to murder the other out of frustration if they're even the slightest bit touched in the head.
Not speaking from experience.
Because we don't want now, do we?
She trails off, having said her piece, and leaves nothing but the smell of coffee and Earl Grey between us. There's a calm despite the nature of what has just been discussed. To say that her words make me start to think is an understatement. To say that I'm not considering her advice is a lie. And to say that this might just be the calm before the storm is a possibility. Others have had shorter marriages, yes, but plenty have celebrated long and happy ones as well. My own parents celebrated their choral anniversary before they passed away. Which one is that? 35. Wow. But 7 years? 7 years isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. It isn't a whole lot of time to see what and where our relationship can bring us. And at the same time, 7 years. Well, it hasn't been entirely made of unhappy years, has it? It won't last forever. It's not supposed to anyway. I just dread the thought that it might last for a very long time. I dread the thought that these small spats, these little disagreements, will turn into an all-out resentment. The idea that we will grow to hate each other with every fiber of our being scares me. I can't even pinpoint the exact moment when our blissful union turned sour. When did he start to seek other women, lacking any ulterior motives? When did we start to cooperate only to suit our materialistic greed and attention-seeking ways? Money and success, fame and glamour. Are those the only reasons we still stay together? There's a cough before Marianne clears her throat. I must have been quiet for so long, and I move to apologize when she stands up. We both end up on our feet, unsure of how to proceed. Some sort of odd, awkward shuffle occurs as we decide whether to sit back down or not.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
We'll see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
The scene outside the parlor is a great, organized mess. Aside from our own household help, we hired the service of the temp agency, which provides staff for Wright Enterprise and the hospitality sector. Even our very skilled staff cannot undertake a party of this size on their own. Waiters, busboys, hostesses, and their staff captains move about in droves, carrying crockery, I almost said that wrong, and serveware good for several dozen people, and then some. Chefs and bartenders tail after Johans, looking like scared little children as he escorts them through the kitchen and into the wine cellar. This music is really nice and peaceful. Really nice music. To peruse the stocks, to select what can be served at the party, and what can be used for cooking.
Schnell! We have a lot to do, and I believe we did not hire snails. Snails are for the dishes.
Gross. A string quartet readies up to play for the evening, tuning their instruments as they fill the air with idle chatter. Floral decor worth thousands fill vases, wreaths, and baskets, while petals are scattered along the driveway up front. An ice sculpture of a reindeer is brought in carefully by a pair. It is followed by a simple cake, just a 5-tier white chiffon one with white chocolate mousse, fresh berries, and a light dusting of edible gold leaf. What is this game's obsession with food? And why is it making me hungry? This game is intent on making me hungry. Pretty sure that's what this is. But despite the fact that I had told Mary Ann how I will attend to all of this, I find myself unable to focus or care for any of it. I still have our discussion running in my mind, and looking at all of this, I only see Luke everywhere. These are all the grand things that Luke wanted to have for the party. I had wanted a small, elegant, and simple gathering, with only a select few invited, namely the people who I would actually trust to enter my home. I did not want any bloody politicians or paparazzi in here, no matter how used I am to catering them.
At least be here for your party. Damn it, Luke.
The entire thing screamed Luke Wright. And I can't help but add another question to my growing list of queries. When did I lose myself? It's always about him nowadays, isn't it? What about Hannah Wright? What about Hannah Evans? I used to be my own woman who made her own name, her own career, her own decisions. The character, not the guy reading this story. None of that applies to me. Not a single part of that. Sure, I was already the social butterfly that I still am today, but it wasn't all empty, shallow gossip and sitting pretty. I was also lauded for my knowledge and talent. Finance manager wasn't just handed to me just because my father owned the company. I had insisted that I start at the bottom so I could work my way to the top and prove myself. And I did. I worked numbers, managed budgets, money and accounts, analyzing the competition and market trends. There was the calculation of financial risk, cost reduction opportunities, auditor liaison, and public relations, supervisor of staff, and, well, I generally had a huge slew of responsibilities. Admittedly, I was already quite the attention seeker even back then, having dedicated most of my youth craving for my parents' approval. Failing that, I turned to others, looked for praise from anyone who would give it, however fleeting it all was. And Luke, oh, Luke, the way he looked at me, the way he watched me, and took a genuine interest. He had me disgustingly obsessed since day one, hasn't he? He saw me for me, Hannah Evans, with both my faults and my achievements. The man didn't treat me like some damsel in distress, or some prize to be won. I remember the nights before we were married where we talked about everything and anything. From big things like business, society, and philosophy, to little things such as what we had for breakfast and whether we liked cats or dogs more. We both preferred dogs. Nowadays, I'm just Luke Wright's wife. It's mostly my fault, isn't it? They told me that husbands preferred wives who are docile and subordinate. A woman who will always be there for him, yet would never outshine him in all aspects except beauty. A wife needs to be at home and attend to his needs, to have children and to take care of them in his absence. They said I have no business working anymore after I was married. I can blame society, but I listened. Before I can fall further into this introspective pit of self-loathing, someone calls for my attention.
The guests have arrived, madam.
And Luke?
Running a bit late, I'm afraid.
Late for his own party. That man, I swear. He's probably looking to make a dramatic entrance, knowing him. Open the doors, then. We mustn't tarry.
Cars line up the driveway, peppering the front of the mansion with vehicles of every kind. Grand Tourers, supercars, even the odd high-end muscle car or two, convertibles, grand saloons, and other luxury cars can be seen, being parked by valets. A handful of cabs drive off, possibly for those who thought it's too troublesome to bring their own cars. There are at least 2 different media vans as well. They're all here for what may be considered the biggest event of the year for Luxborn. So far. Who knows what we'll plan for the winter holidays?
Welcome, welcome everyone. Please, make yourselves at home.
Some of the guests sidle, enjoying the warm, if not strange, sunshine we are experiencing before gloomy skies inevitably return. They greet acquaintances and friends with warm smiles, others less so. From where I stand, I can see the hierarchy of power, the ties that bind these individuals here, whether through convenience or necessity. However, there are also a few who are not here to further cement their current place in high society. Such as that young man with his oriental hair, ignorant of the looks he receives from women and men alike.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Or that rose-haired woman talking on her phone, while she looks unsure of why she is here exactly.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
I see Zachary, the photographer, as well. He talks to a few of the other media crew with an air of familiarity.
I was just here a few days ago, yeah. Yeah, and the inside is huge, but the staff are pretty helpful if you get lost.
I had invited Father Norman, too. It's the least I can do after he blessed the mansion on my request. Aside from my small donation to the church, of course. But the poor man had taken ill and went through a nervous breakdown of some sort the other day. He's the most protagonist-looking character you've seen so far. Yeah. Oh, man. Have you seen that? Oh, man. Have you seen that meme? Let's play a game of Spot the Protagonist, and it's a picture of Yugi. It's like a screenshot from the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, and like it's Yugi in a crowd full of just normal-looking people. Yeah. And then there are people like the Chief Inspector. People who I can never be too sure about. People who stand on the border between being suspicious and being trustworthy.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see?
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again?
She told me she'll just be in the gardens.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Bet she's lying and that she's somewhere around mingling, gossiping with the other ladies.
I could probably pass as him, actually.
It's no offense, but that seems to be all you ladies do at these parties.
And aren't you gossiping right now?
Yes, well...
He's drawn nice. Yeah, all the art is really well done in this. It's really nice. Part of the fun of VNs is seeing the art. But this is, like, yeah, the art on the characters is really nice.
Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
That is, by the way, this is important. Like, this is actually something that people should know. You don't have to wait 24 hours to file a missing person report. If you have probable cause to say that a person is missing, then you can file a report immediately. Like, if you can't find them, like, let's say that you're supposed to pick somebody up from the airport, okay? If you get to the airport and they're not there, and you can't find them, or not the airport, let's say a bus station, okay, let's say a bus station. If you go to a bus station to pick someone up, and they're not there, and you can't find them and you can't get a hold of them on the phone, then you could totally file a missing persons report, because that's probable cause of kidnapping or something. The first 24 hours are the most important for trying to find missing people. Like, it's something ridiculous, like over 75% of people who go missing are found because of evidence gathered in the first 24 hours. So, yeah, that's just something important. If you guys ever get into a situation where somebody's missing, just know you don't have to wait for 24 hours before you can file a report.
He's around.
Just hope that saves someone's life.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing. Don't tell me, let me guess. He's finally drunken himself to death and not wanting a scandal. You've hidden his body.
No, but that sounds a whole lot better.
I was wanting to give this housewarming gift to him personally, too. It's a plate that holds a wine glass so he can stop killing himself with liquid lunches. Looks like it's too late for that.
Nothing like that. Besides, this is a hardly polite conversation.
Oh, relax. I'm just trying to be cheeky to lighten the mood. It's not like I want Luke dead.
Then he gives that dopey smile. It's not like I want Luke dead. That's what he looks like.
The man doesn't serve dodgy plonk like the others when I visit, and he pays his respects well enough.
With that stupid smile on his face. Oh, don't worry. It's not like I want Luke dead. Just... you can't say something like that and then give the guy that smile. That's just too funny.
I could use a glass of wine or 3, actually.
It still goes straight to that smile.
Rochelle's been in a horrid mood. Threw her stilettos at me the other day and almost took an eye out.
No, but you're not smiling about that? Come on. Where's your sense of adventure? Or humor? Or common sense, you know? Anything.
Sure if this is how it usually goes, but I blame the pregnancy.
I wouldn't know, would I?
So no plans for a baby? Well, I guess that's for the best. If it's this bad now, I can't even imagine how bad it'll be when that little baby bump becomes huge.
Have I mentioned how I don't trust him no matter how hard I try to do so? At least he brought a gift, I suppose.
Why don't you just go inside and have some wine, Lee?
Think I will, thanks.
Greetings such as these carry on as the guests continue to trickle in. Whether we have short conversations or merely shake hands and nod heads, I make sure to attend and welcome each of them. As the first hours pass us by, first hours or first hour? As the first hour or hours pass us by, the rest of the stragglers and I adjourn to the ballroom. Adjourn, okay. Any latecomers will have the attention of the porter instead. I have other duties to attend to now. Haven't seen this yet. That's nice. Hosting parties is always the same old song and dance, no matter how big or small it is. You make sure your guests are well fed, have good company, and have them generally enjoy themselves. So, when my opening remarks are done, when the band has started to play, and the guests have started eating, I find myself wandering around aimlessly, unless I am pulled aside. For a while, I stay with my small group and entertain them before excusing myself. And when they're not watching anymore, watching me, I end up watching them. When they don't listen, I do. A local banker is having trouble with his daughter. He wishes to marry her off, but she wants nothing more but to make music. One of the hotel managers worries about the stolen belongings of one of his patrons, a failing in security which should be brought up to higher authority soon. Our mayor, well, his cat died. And then there's that rose-haired woman once again. It is hard not to notice her with her distinct looks. She also lacks the grace that the other ladies have, though that does not make her any less beautiful. Her stance and the air she exudes, instead, are strong, and they make her stand out despite her casual attire. Swinging chandeliers, yeah. It's just, that is something I noticed, but I kind of like it. It lets you know that things are moving. Like, it's just a subtle thing to remind you that the game is alive with life. Or depth, I don't know. Many men have already given her that attention, though each invitation to dance has been turned down. I approach, intrigued, although it is no great mystery what occupies her own attention, with the glances she keeps sending towards the boy with the oriental hair. She remains unaware, though, even as I stand beside her, pretending that I am there for a drink.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenus, those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up.
I know nothing of French. I know bonjour, au revoir. I don't even know thank you.
Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
Merci is thank you. Anyway. The boy comes over, but I do nothing to speak any softer. He merely passes by, and it is a wonder he doesn't hear what I say.
Who, Ash?
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers. If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men. But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time.
Omelette du fromage? Is that food? Omelette de fromage? I don't know.
I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean we know each other. Is he your boyfriend then? Because that would explain those rejections.
It's a cheese omelet. Alright, man, that sounds good. In all my life, I've never seen a face grow red so fast. The shade of her hair did not help as well. This is the most pink I've seen on a person, really.
What? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend.
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed. Many here would be happy to hear it.
And I haven't been looking at him.
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact. Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
It's more the latter currently.
Yeah, the nice visual novels always have really nice art, and it's nice to see key art like this. And the great thing is you can check out the art gallery at any time on the main menu, which is really nice. So when you get to these scenes, you don't have to worry about, although I guess if I could, just take a screenshot on the Switch. But you can always just come back and look at it too.
Just don't go murdering him on my property.
Also, I'm 99% sure the limited edition of the physical version of this will have a little art book as well.
I don't want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body there.
I waver as I feel the burning of someone's stares. It is chilling, and though I am used to enduring the gaze of others, this one makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Okay, who invited this girl? Look at her! Look at her! It looks like they dragged her in off the street. How dare! My attention is pulled from the girl, and I see a woman staring. Dark-haired and dirty, she looks more like a beggar than a guest, and I have half the mind to call the security at her when her mouth breaks out into a grin. All I hear is her laughing, taunting. Her stare makes my blood run cold. And not just because the heat went out at my house. Which is true. It is currently 52 degrees in my room. What is that in Celsius? It's currently about 10 degrees in my room. Yeah. She looks at me like I am nothing but a pig to slaughter for her amusement. It makes my hand shake and I nearly drop my drink. But then, in a blink, she's gone, and the buzz of the party returns.
I'll keep that in mind, but... Are you alright?
Yes, sorry. I just thought I saw something strange. It must be the trick of the light. Anyway, on a right, as you must already know.
I really like... What's her name? The girl. The girl with pink hair, okay? I really like that outfit. That's really, really cute.
Rebecca Gales.
Rebecca.
Gales.
The name is familiar, like a fond memory. Achievement unlocked. Reunion. I recall a kind lady, a private tutor who treated me like her own daughter when I was young. Becky, yep. She even bring me food when there was no reason to do so. Usually stovies, which I honestly hadn't been too keen about, though I ate them nonetheless because she brought them for me.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
Aw.
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way. But yeah, that's me. Little Becky. We met once before.
Yes, oh, I remember you! You were the cutest little thing with glasses! And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A. What was it again? Aaron, Alan, Adele, Albert, Alexander, Andrew?
Ash? The more I list off names, the more red and more quiet Becky gets. She starts to look a bit miserable as her body language shows discomfort and stiffness. Perhaps I've triggered a horrible childhood memory. Surely I hadn't been mean when she visited her mother. I don't quite remember all of it.
Ashton! Ash! That man is that boy! The same one. Oh, goodness me, after all these years! I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone within earshot, you know? Keep it down.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
And a tad bit sad.
This is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Please, Anna's fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky. Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
Good night, everybody.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
Good night, everybody.
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales. And they are, sorta. I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best. If you love them, you have to fight for it, right? You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it. But what do I know?
There is a grimace, although she starts to relax around my presence. How long has it been since we met as children? Certainly a long time. She was tiny back then, if I recall correctly.
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about. But have you told him how you feel? And it's been what, 20 years?
17, actually. But no, not yet. He can be a bit dense.
Men.
I was hoping that maybe he'd notice on his own and...
Well, that won't do. What if you two become husband and wife? He's not to be dense when he's sworn himself to another person. Why, you might just as well consider leaving before the day's even begun.
If that happens, I'll have to give him a good ear bashing, won't I? Whoever anyone ends up with, it's not going to be a perfect relationship anyway. There's going to be things you'll love and things you'll hate about the other person. We're just humans. It's funny. Here I am, trying to give you advice when you did the very same thing back then. I remember you giving me a makeover when we were still kids. And you were the first I told anyone about my... crush.
I do remember now that she mentions it. You don't want to work at love for 17 years, though? Yes and no. You don't want it to be unrequited love for 17 years, but 17 years of marriage, that's 17 years of work on love. Did I give her that yellow summer dress or the pink blouse and petticoat? She must have kept some of what I said in mind. It feels ridiculous remembering all of that years later, talking about boys and how they go crazy for pretty girls as if it's some gospel every woman should adhere to. Don't anime crush for 17 years? Okay, you can't tell me what to do, but also yes. It was so easy to say such things then, with me not knowing any better. Though, looking at her now, she must have kept some of what I said in mind. Perhaps I did say something good at that time, enough for her to take it to heart. But all that didn't matter in the moment, as I mull over what she's just said in my head. What Becky told me is very different from what Mary Ann told me. There's no time to ponder over that, however, as a hush descends upon the once lively crowd. Let me guess, Mr. Idiot Boy is about to make his grand entrance. The music of strings and the chatter slows to a grinding halt as the doors to the foyer opens. The last of the latecomers should have arrived moments ago, and anyone else this late would simply be too embarrassed to show their face. So this can only be one person, or rather, one man. There's only one man who is audacious enough to arrive at his own party so late.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party? I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
Unlike I, who was raised in the spotlight and simply grew used to its presence, he sought it out every chance he could, even when there was no spotlight that shone. And I'll never put it against him when he smiles like that. He did so brilliantly under the scrutiny when he channels his showmanship. You can tell by the way people's eyes light up as he speaks. How they listen, enraptured, even if all he's doing is a simple greeting. A little wave of his hand here, a little smile there, and a bit of swagger. I always tell him that if he's not to be a businessman, he'll do well as an entertainer. I love this side of him, especially when he looks at me and he beckons me over to humbly share his place. Not a single second is wasted as I excuse myself from Becky's side and I make my way to Luke's.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
There's a round of applause, cheers, and even some hoots. Guests approach us left and right and shakes Luke's hand and greet him personally, praises on their lips. It is because of this that I do not see her. I do not see her until she is dangerously close, with fury in her eyes, and she's already spitting venom. Johannes restrains her, taking care not to unnecessarily harm the pregnant woman. Is this the chief's wife? But that does little to deter her rage, and the man has no choice but to let her go, lest an unborn child is hurt. Although it might be too late for that, as I see an emptied glass of wine in her hand. Aw, lady! You're trouble. How much has she imbibed in?
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle?
This is the chief's wife.
Perhaps you need to sit down and...
No! Shut it, you mother! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here!
Aw, man.
You bloody bastard, standing there with your smarmy smile!
She interrupts me, jabbing her finger in my direction before she rounds on Luke. Even as whispers and murmurs break out among the guests, all I can focus on is the heat of the moment. Obviously intoxicated, judging by the smell of her breath. I'm not ticked off about this little displays of hers, at least not yet. But I am absolutely pissed by the fact that she'd endanger her own baby by drinking. There is a considerable amount of restraint and grace that I must exercise while I wait for her tantrum to subside. I keep a patient, if tight, smile on my face. Luke's expression, on the other hand, is indecipherable.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband?
Also,
if
you want to see what Luke's face looks like, about what you would expect.
I did.
And I told you with great emphasis not to. Now we have a drunk, hormonal, pregnant woman causing a stir. What is even going on?
I am just about to ask that exact same thing.
I don't know. But Rochelle, do calm down before you hurt yourself.
Doofus Shinra. You know what? You know what? You're not wrong.
I can't understand a word you're saying.
Where is that husband of yours? Lei, collect your wife right now.
That's sexist.
Don't you fucking talk like I'm not here and you're not responsible, you ass! You told me that I should wait for you in the gardens.
Excuse me. What is this nonsense you're going on about?
Crazy talk. That's all it is. Just completely and utterly mad. Has anyone seen the Chief Inspector?
I am pregnant with your little bastard. You promised me you'll take responsibility.
You know, this isn't even funny. This is just sad. Like, genuinely, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, wow, that's just sad.
damn it, Luke! I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me!
Oh, huh?
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
Yeah, this is just sad. This is pathetic, really.
No, you do not do this to me! I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours. Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby? Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
It is now that Johans returns with security, along with a concerned-looking Officer Lee, without that stupid smile on his face. They surround her and move to escort the hysterical woman. Judging by his pale face, he has heard the whole thing, and I feel nothing but pity for the man.
I'm so sorry for her behavior. She's been under a lot of stress. And the alcohol. Talking nonsense, that's all it is. You're not allowed to drink because of the baby, Shelley. What are you thinking?
Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
Is there really nothing here but the ramblings of a drunk? Yes, that's right. There's no way that what Rochelle said is the truth. What she says doesn't match up. I know Luke. If such a scandalous meeting are to be arranged, he won't do it in such an exposed place, especially not near his precious flowers. And he definitely won't promise responsibility over a child unless it can be helped. You know, suddenly I think I know why he likes flowers so much. Why isn't he punching Luke in the face? Well, he probably... Well, one, I'm sure he's just completely embarrassed. Two, he probably cares more about her safety than trying to get even with Luke. And three, he probably doesn't even know if she's telling the truth. Probably just infatuated, and, you know, it's probably not on his mind to punch Luke, at least not right now. Besides, Luke will never... He will never go as far as to sleep with another woman, right? Okay, fine, who am I kidding? If I am to be completely honest with myself, he might cheat. With a bit of temptation and a bit of alcohol, he just might. And doesn't that just make my blood boil to even think of the slightest possibility of infidelity? Lee isn't too far off when he told me how Luke still acted like some young hotshot bachelor. Starts to make me think. Lady! Clearly, we know the answer. Maybe Marianne had a point. If I am frustrated, if I am unhappy, maybe a break is needed. Some time apart might just be what the doctor ordered. Time apart to clear our heads and to think for ourselves. Or for myself, to be exact. Because looking at this mess before me just brings me nothing but distress. I feel a bit nauseous, actually, now that I think about it. Luke's too busy making a scene to notice, and a concerned Becky pulls me to the side. She looks as disturbed as I am by this sudden turn of events. Probably not a fan of drama. Definitely not used to it, at any rate. Not surprising, as her parents were lovely yet simple people.
Hey, I figured you could use the save. You looked like you weren't doing too hot back there.
Are they trying to tell me to save the game? Well, I've still got 15 minutes.
Do we need to call a doctor or something?
Oh no, I'll just be needing some fresh air, that's all. Some help getting out of here would be much appreciated.
Sure, that won't be a problem. I wanted to get away from this drama too anyway. Just... Hey, Zachary! Hey, Zach!
At the mention of his name, I can't help but seek him out in the crowd as he makes his way over. They know each other?
Becca, this is a real oh, hey, Miss Wright.
If I am to assign a random number to dictate the odds of having two of my acquaintances know each other, I'll say the odds are 1 out of 1,000. And if this is any other situation, I would have been suspicious. It isn't completely impossible to have two random strangers who I've met on separate occasions know each other in what will be a complete random happenstance. It's just that it's been faked before to try and dupe me because of who I am and who I am married to. But right now, coincidence or not, I'm just grateful for the help. As long as this doesn't turn into a kidnapping anyway.
Hello, Zachary. I told you to call me Hannah. Did I not?
Yeah, you did. So this is what you called me for. We gonna get Hannah out of here?
I can see that they're friends. Not terribly close ones, but friends nonetheless.
That'd be great.
They make quick work of getting us through the crowd. The people part because of Zachary's broad build, even if they want to approach me. If that isn't enough, Becky's pointed glares keep them at bay. We even make it out of the ballroom without any untoward incident. Judging by the commotion in the other room, the same cannot be said about the unexpected eviction. I really do need the fresh air. I need to be away from those nosy Parkers. I need to be away from Luke. This is a good start as any.
Hey, I gotta go back in there. Completely forgot my bag like an airhead, and I'll see if I can tag Ash on the way out. You'll be fine here, right, Hannah?
Not to worry, dearie. I'll just be right here.
Zach will be with you if you need anything.
Becky balks at the idea of going back into the ballroom. Anyone who hasn't yet would have realized I am gone by now. And those busybodies will be gossiping about how I left the building with two unknowns. Along with what just transpired, stories both inaccurate and made up will spread by the night's end. It all matters very little in the grand scheme of things, of course. I won't even bother to try and quell them by returning to the fray. That leaves me with...
Zachary?
Yeah, you need something?
I was only going to say how nice it is to see you again.
Oh, okay.
I can see the tension in the line of his shoulders. Odd how awkward he is when this isn't our first meeting. We had met on professional terms, certainly, but I'd like to think it was friendly. Nonetheless, I do not push the issue about the apparent discomfort when we were left alone. Not right away, at any rate. I know my curiosity will get the better of me soon. Before I can say anything, however, he speaks up.
You okay there, Hannah? I mean, of course you're not okay after what happened in there. I mean, that was terrible. But you're not gonna just fall down and faint or anything, right?
I'm fine. Thank you for your concern.
A beat.
I should be asking you the same thing. I remember you being a lot more eloquent.
Oh yeah, I'm just not too good with staying too long in a crowded room. Or handling intense drama, you know. Sorry about my clothes. Didn't think there'd be a dress code. Not that I have anything that nice to wear to a shindig like this. I dig nice, small, simple parties, so this is a real doozy for me.
And do you host your own nice, small, and simple parties often?
Only when there's occasion, birthdays and stuff. Those are a lot more fun for me, and I can be a lot more selective about letting only the people I'm cool with attend, right? I get to pick the food, too. Of course, I make most of them myself. There's usually a dozen people or less, and all we really do is just hang out. Maybe do some grilling, karaoke, dancing, you know, the usual.
That sounds like fun.
That sounds nice.
See, she agrees.
Yeah. You sure you're alright? You aren't exactly being eloquent yourself, as you put it. You must have something you want to get off your chest.
I don't know, Zachary. What am I supposed to say?
You can scream merde if you want. I won't snitch.
Hang on, this is important. Translate from French to English. Merde. Oh, crap.
You want to know what I think? How I feel? I think my friend may have slept with my husband. At least, I'm pretty sure she isn't pregnant with his baby, which isn't much now, is it? My husband is a selfish, pretentious, bloody sack of shite, and
Yeah, Zach is awesome.
you know what?
He's a really cool dude.
I don't give a flying fuck anymore. My God.
Well, that ain't good. Not giving a crap won't make the problem go away.
I'm going to ask him for a break, Zachary. I'm not going to pretend that there isn't a problem, but I just need to step back.
Fair enough. As long as you don't just up and disappear on him, I suppose.
Yes. Now can we please stop talking about him? Tell me more about your small, simple parties. Karaoke and dancing. How does that even go together?
Man, how long does it take for Becky to find her purse?
Simple, really. We hope Ash doesn't take the mic, put on a bit of fun music, and just dance. Not that I can, but there ain't nothing complex about it.
You can't be that bad.
I'm pretty good with the twist. Or that's what they tell me, at least. I think they're just being nice. I'm sure it just looks awkward.
How should I respond?
I've learned that men tend to exaggerate. You can't honestly be that bad, can you?
What? Do you need a demonstration?
That would be preferable, yes.
It's not like there's music here, Hana. Come on. I can barely dance with music, and I don't want to be dancing alone. I'll just look silly.
Where honestly is Becky?
Imagine, mon ami. You are an artiste, are you not? With your photos and films and your guitar. You must know notes to play an instrument. Find a melody and a beat. Would it be such a stretch of the imagination? And don't fret, I will gladly be your partner.
I can tell by his expression that he's flushed, embarrassed. But no more protests escape him, and he focuses with a small tilt of his head. Then he starts to hum a little tune. I drag him into the gardens while we go through the motions, and he gains courage the farther we are from other people. And we just dance. Though he stumbles at first, unsure and bashful.
Where did you even learn to dance, Zach? The 60s want their moves back, honestly.
College of two left feet, obviously. And I'll have you know the twist is still an awesome dance.
It is. Let's twist again like we did last summer. And we're happy and we're having fun. Even if Zachary fumbles with his steps and did the funniest, oddest movements that anyone can pass off as dancing. There's no need to impress anyone, however, not even each other. And this is the most I've smiled and laughed in a long time. It is simple. Simple as nice. I wish the said can be said about what I'm about to do. But we will have to look at that next time. Where's the freaking save? There we go. Save. Yes, yes. Save again just to make sure. Yes, yes. Because our time today has come to an end. So, this is the game that I will be playing on Sundays from now on. Including next Sunday? Yes? Kind of feel like there's something I'm forgetting, but yeah, including next Sunday. So I will be continuing my playthrough next Sunday. Remember, if you want the chance of owning this yourself physically on the Nintendo Switch, orders are open right now at PlayAsia, and the games begin to ship later this month. I'm glad to hear that you're going to be getting it. Oh, let me try pronounce your name again. Deo Lem. I'm just going to apologize once again, but I tried. I'm glad to hear you're getting it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my Ellie of this. This is going to be cool. But I will be continuing this game next Sunday, and I will be back on Tuesday to play What Am I Playing? Hang on. El Gancho. Wow. Okay. So yeah, lots to look forward to. I'm glad that you popped in the stream, Lamb. Always great to see new faces. Anyway, hope everyone has a great week. And I will be back next Sunday to continue my playthrough of the letter. Until then, on behalf of East Asia Soft, I have been Skull. Have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.